and welcome to News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Annetta Felix. We begin in the northwestern state of Zamfara, where police force spokesman Jimo Mashood confirmed that 17 police officers have been killed by armed bandits. Mashood had earlier confirmed that one officer was killed, but he now says that the bodies of 16 officers were found and 20 officers were rescued alive by a police joint intervention force on a search and rescue mission after a massive operation against the bandits in Zamfara. He says at least 104 armed bandits were killed in that operation, while 50 gang hideouts in 3 camps were also destroyed. The police spokesperson also says the force has now deployed extra personnel to search for more bandit safe houses. He also added that the police hierarchy had condoled with the families of the deceased officers and ordered a befitting burial and payment of life assurance benefits and other entitlements to them. The Air Force Council has approved the promotion of a total of 64 senior officers to the next higher ranks in the Nigerian Air Force. The affected senior officers comprise 14 Air Commodores who were promoted to the rank of Air Vice Marshal, 36 Group Captains promoted to Air Commodore, and 14 Wing Commanders promoted to the rank of Group Captain. The AFC also approved the concessional commission of 3 Air Warrant Officers and 1 Master Warrant Officer to the rank of Flight Lieutenant. The senior non-commissioned officers granted concessional commission to the rank of Flight Lieutenant include Air Warrant Officers Jude Mohammed Madugu, Theophilus NM, and Master Warrant Officer Samuel Ogunubi. The senior officers and newly commissioned officers will be decorated with their new ranks at a later date. Nigerian officials have been meeting in Abuja to discuss ways to curtail the spread of fake news. The officials, including military and government personnel, are meeting at a national retreat tagged Social Media for Good Governance. Now, Oyi Adekunle reports.
The retreat, which was organized by the Federal Ministry of Communication, is primarily to sensitize Nigerians and social media influencers on the best way to use the social media to foster unity and national development. Speakers at the event all enumerated both the positive and negative influence of the social media and how it helps spread fake news.
I'm happy to be with social media influencers and a lot of young men that are here. But I would advise that each time you have a report, let's not be quick to go to the press. I'm the first person to publish this without verifying your facts. A typical example is the Metele attack. There is no figure that we have not seen brandished. Some have said 200 people killed, 300, 500 disappear, a lot of things. And people are quick to retweet these things, say these things, send these things without verifications. And the truth is, how many people do we even have in a battalion, let alone saying you kill 200 people at the same time? However, the army came up about 2 days ago to say we lost, unfortunately, 23 people. And there's a procedure, if I would just use this opportunity to tell, there's a procedure before you declare someone killed. In the army, you will not say someone is dead if you don't find the dead body. You cannot assume. It is a battle. You cannot assume that this person is dead until you find the body. Even after finding the body, you must inform the next of kin. You cannot just go around saying somebody is dead, you have not found the person, you have not gone to tell the wife or the son or whoever is the next of kin, and immediately you publish and say so people in so battalion is dead, or they are dead. So I want to implore all of us to watch what we post. The army is your army. You are all Nigerian. It is Nigerian army. It's not any other thing. And when we go around castigating the military, saying that the military this, we are the people at the end of the day. People are here. We're all under this AC. There are people in the trenches. I know we will say, well, you chose to do that. Yes, we chose to do that. But we are defending this nation. So as social media influencers, social media practitioners, I want to even beg you, let us verify our facts before we say them, before we keep posting whatever it is we want to post.
Now, what is the implication of the social media for the spokesman or the image maker today? The implication is that every organization is perceived according to the information that they're able to put out there. The more contents or information you have out there in the public space, the greater the peace you are going to enjoy.
In his address, Minister of Communication Adebayo Shittu says government is doing everything to harness the potentials of the social media.
The proceedings of this retreat over the next 2 days will no doubt stimulate our minds as we focus on how social media tools and trends can help improve governance, and most especially as we approach the 2019 general elections in Nigeria. Of course, this becomes imperative because we have known the abuses and misuses which many of our not so patriotically endowed citizens have been using the social media to wreak some havoc. The introduction and unprecedented popularity of social media platforms have fundamentally changed the mode of person-to-person communication, interaction between government and the governed, as well as all manners of interaction between public and private entities and the general public.
Stakeholders at the retreat agreed that there is need for government to give information promptly and adequately to stem the issue of rumors among Nigerians, which eventually leads to fake news. Oyin Adekunle, TV360, Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari will chair a special meeting of the Federal Executive Council to discuss the 2019 budget. The meeting, which will be held at the Presidential Villa, is scheduled for Friday, December 7th. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina says the meeting is expected to put finishing touches to the budget, after which it will be forwarded as an appropriation bill to the National Assembly. Adesina did not give details of the estimate or benchmarks contained in the draft copy of the bill to be tabled for deliberations by cabinet members.
A special session of the Federal Executive Council. The intention is to look at the budget, get the proposals approved by FEC, and then it will be transmitted to the National Assembly. So that happens on Friday by 10:30 a.m.
Political parties have been discussing Nigeria's progress in the anti-terrorism war. The parties held the talks at the Nigerian Political Parties Discussion Series, organized by the Center for Democracy and Development and Open Society Initiative for West Africa. 3 political parties, the All Progressives Congress, Abundant Renewal Party of Nigeria, ANRP, and the PDP, were represented at the event. The APC said security in Nigeria has improved beyond the situation in 2015. The ANRP believes a lack of jobs is a major reason why the security of the nation is being constantly threatened, while the PDP said a lack of identity and records is a major setback for the country.
A lot of the security problems we have in Nigeria actually rise and falls on intelligence. Of course, we can split, security into internal and external security. So, in terms of internal security, our plans in ANRP is that a lot of that has to do with youth unemployment and youth poverty. So we say youth unemployment and youth poverty. When young people at 18 years old are not under any direction and no one cares for them, more than 80% of them in this country are kind of rudderless. And so what happens is that if the country, as a nation, if we don't put jobs in the hands of our youth, the devil is going to put jobs in their hands. And so what we want to do there is to create a certain program called the cleanest, safest, and the most organized country in Africa project. And what this is going to do is to channel the efforts and the energy and the passion and the innocence of our youth towards protecting their country. So cleanest is going to, the cleanest aspect is going to deal with the environment, the safest is going to deal with security, and the most organized is going to do with how society is organized.
Now, despite the recent spate of defections in the All Progressives Congress, the national chairman of the party, Adams Oshiomhole, is maintaining confidence that the party will emerge victorious in the 2019 general elections. Oshiomhole was reacting to the major defections in Imo and Ogun State, where the preferred governorship candidates of both sitting governors have defected to contest in another party. In Ogun State, Governor Ibikunle Amosun has openly declared his plans to work against the party, while Imo's Roches Okocha has also hinted likewise. Despite the alleged anti-party activities of both governors, Oshambale insists the party will win the 2019 elections. He described the governors as poor students of their own history who had forgotten they lost elections before winning on the platform of the APC. Now, still talking politics, over 40 political parties under the aegis of the coalition of united political parties have thrown their weight behind Atiku Abubakar, choosing him as the opposition consensus candidate for the 2019 general election. They announced their decision in a press statement after a closed-door meeting at the Yaradua Center, Abuja. They say they chose Atiku after he scored high on their criteria of national acceptance, financial capability, spread of his political party, leadership capability, international acceptance, among others. Atiku faces President Muhammadu Buhari in the presidential election come 2019. And winners of the by-elections held in Katsina, Bauchi and Kwara State have been sworn into the House of Representatives. The lawmakers are Yusuf Nuhu of Toro Federal Constituency in Bauchi State, Tunji Olawoye of Iripodu Isin Okiro Ekiti Federal Constituency in Kwara State, and Abubakar Kasada of Kankia Kasuda Federal Constituency in Katsina State. And they are all members of the All Progressives Congress. After the swearing-in ceremony, the People's Democratic Party gained a new member in the lower chamber. Gabriel Onyewife from Anambra State defected to the PDP from the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA. In his letter read out by Speaker Yakubu Dugara, Onyewife blamed his decision on the outcome of the primaries conducted by APGA in Anambra State. His decision follows a series of defections which has characterized proceedings in the 8th National Assembly. In matters of education, the Academic Staff Union of Polytechnics, ASUP, is warning of an indefinite strike from December 12. The national president of ASUP, Usman Duse, says the federal government has failed to meet the demands of the polytechnic lecturers. Prior to this impending strike, the union had on October 2nd issued a 21-day ultimatum to the government before it extended it to November. But even then, it did not commence the strike. Duse now says the new action will be total and indefinite. The polytechnic lecturers will be joining their university colleagues in the strike action. This comes after a third meeting between the federal government and the union ended without resolving the lecturers' dispute. The meeting, which held at the Federal Ministry of Education, was to find a lasting solution to the ongoing strike by the university lecturers. The union embarked on the strike on November 4 over the poor funding of Nigerian universities and non-implementation of previous agreements by the government. The national president of ASU, Biodun Ogunyemi, says both parties are yet to reach a concrete decision and will reconvene soon to continue negotiations. Now, in some good news, the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union, KOASU, has suspended its nationwide strike after over 2 months. President of the union, Nuhu Ogirima, announced this on Wednesday at a briefing in Abuja after an expanded National Executive Council meeting. Ogirima says the suspension follows reassurances from government to meet some of the key demands of the workers. According to him, the suspension is to enable the government implement the agreement. Ogirima, however, said the union will reconvene in January to reassess the government's commitment and will not hesitate to resume the strike if it reneges in the agreement. Now we have more news for you in just a moment.
How work?
Oh, correct, Oga.
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they come out the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this o. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They go comot the original parts, sell am, make plenty kusa.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff.
Na because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no dey give them electricity.
Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before we do am, frog jump. One. Frog jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
The Wale Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism invites you to the 13th award presentation event of the Wale Soyinka Award for Investigative Reporting. Join us to honor the 2018 WSCIJ Nigerian Investigative Report of the Year, along with the category winners from print, radio, television, photo, online, and editorial cartoon. John Momo, Chairman, Channels Media Group, and Waziri Adio, the Executive Secretary of the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, will also be honored with a Lifetime Award for Journalistic Excellence and Anti-Corruption Defender of the Year Award, respectively. Date, Sunday 9th December 2018, time 5 p.m. Venue, Necker House, Main Hall, Plot A2, Hakim Balogun Street, off Latif Jakonde Road, Alausa Ikeja, Lagos. For inquiries, email wscrj@wscrj.org or call 0908-251-5179. Investigative reporting is a vital force for the restoration of human dignity. Wale Soyinka.
Welcome back, and for business news we have Fidelia Agunta. Hello Fidelia.
Hi Aneta.
So the Naira depreciated just last week by about 5%. So what's the Central Bank of Nigeria doing to check this?
Well, Aneta, the CBN has injected $210 million into the currency market to increase liquidity after the Naira weakened by 1% on the black market last week. Well, the bank released $100 million for the wholesale market, $55 million for small businesses and individuals, and another $55 million for certain dollar expenses such as school fees and medical bills. The latest injection comes after the local currency eased to 370 from 366 per dollar on the black market, its weakest since August 2017. Now, Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele says the bank had enough reserve to defend the Naira, advising firms and individuals against hoarding hard currency or buying in anticipation of a currency weakness. The Federal Executive Council has approved the augmentation of the Shegudu-Oweto Road with a sum of 1.6 billion naira. Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the augmentation is to complement the gap in the contract sum of 7.9 billion naira agreed in 2010 during the initial award. The road links the Loko-Owerri Bridge, which is near completion.
Shegudu-Oweto Road links the road to that bridge on the Benue side that helps connect Nasarawa from the local side to Benue. The importance of the Loko-Oweto Bridge, which we have substantially now completed, is that it is the bridge that links the north and south of Nigeria.
Oil prices fell on Wednesday, pulled down by a U.S. supply glut and a drop in stock markets. Brent crude oil futures were at $61.14 a barrel, while U.S. crude futures were at $52.44 a barrel, down by 81 cents. Oil prices were pressured by a weekly report from the American Petroleum Institute, API, that said U.S. crude inventories rose by 5.4 million barrels in the week to November 30 to 448 million barrels, and a sign that U.S. oil markets are in a growing glut. Well, key to the global economic outlook will be whether the United States and China can resolve their trade disputes. Washington and Beijing announced a 90-day truce last weekend during which neither side will further increase import tariffs. Well, let's now look at activities on the stock market. Stay with us. Welcome back. Though today's gain is not as much as that of yesterday, but a second day in the greens has pushed the all-share index up by over 140 points to 31,151 basis points, and the market capitalization also saw a boost of 52 billion naira to close at 11.30 trillion naira. And this is all thanks to the insurance and industrial goods sector, which both climbed by 0.58 and 0.85%, respectively. Well, from the industrial goods sector is Dangote Cement leading the pack of gainers with a 5 naira gain, and that's Dangote right here. And that gain in percentage form is 2.70, and it is followed closely by Stanbic IBTC Bank, which is recording its second day on the gainers chart, and that after starting the week on the losers table. And with 17 market days left, it is safe to say it has been an impressive market year for this bank in equity, which made nearly 60 billion naira after tax at the end of its third quarter operations in September 2018. Now, that's 23% more than its entire profit it recorded in 2017. So I guess I can say it can only get better for Stanbic IBTC now. Going to the losers chart, activities of profit takers has pushed the price of Seplat down by 15 naira, which is the biggest among today's 18 laggards. And yesterday's top gainer, Guarantee Trust Bank, is fourth on the list right here, dropping by 65 kobo. Well, in summary, the total number of shares traded today is just 102 digits more than that of yesterday, and they were, however, worth 194 million naira more in value than that of the previous day. And expanding our horizon now, the global market is still in the red as it was yesterday, and the Dow is the biggest loser, dropping by almost 800 points. Well, that's been a look at activities on the stock market, and it's back to Aneta.
Thank you for that update, Fidelia. Do stay with us and we'll be back with more stories.
Corruption not in my country.
How work? How correct, Oga?
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they command the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this o. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They go command the original parts, sell them, make plenty kuza.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff.
Now because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no they give them electricity.
Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before we do front jump. One. Front jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
A court in the Cameroonian city of Douala has dropped charges against 52 opposition supporters who had been protesting against the re-election of 85-year-old President Paul Biya. Opposition candidate Maurice Kamto of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement Party disputes the official results, alleging widespread fraud. The activists has been in detention since October, all except Mitchell Ndoki, a senior MRC official. United Nations Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet says an international investigation is needed to determine who is responsible for the murder of Saudi journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Bachelet was responding to a question at a news conference in Geneva on Wednesday. His statement comes a day after senior U.S. senators said they were more certain than ever that Saudi's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman was responsible for the killing. Meanwhile, a Turkish prosecutor has issued arrest warrants for 2 Saudi nationals close to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman over the brutal murder of Jamal Khashoggi. The Istanbul Chief Prosecutor's Office says there is strong suspicion that Ahmed al-Asiri and Saud al-Qahtani were among the planners of Khashoggi's assassination inside the Saudi consulate in Istanbul in early October. In sports, over 8,000 Nigerian athletes are expected to participate in the National Sports Festival holding in Abuja. Sports Minister Solomon Delong also says 35 states will participate in the festival, scheduled to begin on Thursday. He assures that that the festival has received the highest support of the government.
We're expecting athletes 7,227. We're also expecting 710 coaches, other team officials 322, the state delegates 602, giving us the total of 8,861.
Ralph Hasenhunt has been appointed as Southampton's new manager, succeeding Mark Hughes in the role after his sacking at the start of the week. The Saints terminated the Welshman's contract after a dismissal started the 2018-2019 season, which has seen the club slip into the Premier League's bottom three. Hasenhunt has been out of work since leaving RB Leipzig back in June after guiding the club into the Champions League during his 2-year spell. The Austrian boss has signed a 2.5-year deal at St. Mary's and will begin his duties at the Premier League club on Thursday. Serena Williams will make her return to the Australian Open for the first time since winning in 2017 when she was 6 weeks pregnant. Her appearance will mark her first major since a controversial rant at the umpire during the US Open final loss to Naomi Osaka, which overshadowed the Japanese star's biggest ever win. Organizers says the world top number 102 women and top 101 men have all confirmed they will be playing. That includes injury-prone Rafael Nadal and Andy Murray. The evergreen Federer will be back to defend his title along with his longtime adversary Novak Djokovic. Caroline Wozniacki defends the women's crown. And that's our package of news now on TV360 Nigeria. Thanks for watching. I am Aneta Felix.